Okay, gone astray. Let's take a look at the image. You have Jesus in the midst of a flock of sheep. He's with a young lad there, but notice also that he's holding one of the sheep. This is interesting. The sheep's not walking. What is this about? Well, you got to get back into the first century understanding of shepherds and sheep to learn this life point. There's a truth here that's very important. When a sheep would be estranged or separated from the flock, sometimes they would just wander off, or got lazy, or they got missed, or they fell in some rocks, or stand on a cliff, or whatever. And they're apart. Now the shepherd understands that he's lost a sheep, and he has to go back looking for it. This is the whole story of Jesus leaving the 99 to go after the one. Well, sometimes you and I are the one. So he comes back, and typically it's an adolescent or a young sheep, and what's happened is this thing is scared out of its mind because it's lost the protectiveness of the shepherd and the protectiveness of being part of a larger flock, and is very vulnerable. Typically this sheep would be shaking, trembling literally, and probably exhausted and just downright scared. Okay, very vulnerable. So what would happen is that the shepherd would, what's called, shoulder the sheep. That is to say, put the sheep on its shoulders, hold the front hoofs and the rear hoofs, and walk back to the flock with the sheep on its shoulder. Now, in this picture, he's holding it. The depiction here is he's gone back and he's gotten this one and he's about to put it back and introduce it into the flock. That's what's going on. So where does all this originate? Well, Isaiah the prophet said, we all like sheep, this is you and me now, we all like sheep have gone astray, each to their own way. Now, what Christ is wanting to do is pick us up is along the way. Pick us up and shoulder us. What does that mean? Pick us up and hold us and bring us back to where we need to be. Now, what does the shepherd do in that process? He begins to speak to the sheep. Now, what is the interesting thing about sheep? Sheep recognize the shepherd's voice, and the shepherd's voice has a calming effect on the sheep. So this lamb is reintroduced to the flock, having been reassured by the voice of the shepherd that it's okay now, we have you, and you're back where you need to be. Maybe you've gone astray, and you feel vulnerable. And there are a lot of things out there that could devour you, situations, people, circumstances. Part of why you're watching this video, my friend, is that because the shepherd simply wants to pick you up and speak to you and calm you back down and reintroduce you or introduce you for the first time to the flock where you need to be, where you can grow and be safe again. That's the role of the shepherd for those who have gone astray. And that's the love of God, to pick you up where you are, to meet you where you are. A lot of people talk about people pursuing God. Hey friend, God is pursuing you. God left the 99 looking for you. You don't have to take but one step. He takes the majority of the steps. Think about that. He loves you enough to come pursue you. He loved you enough to come to earth. He loved you enough to die for you, and he loves you enough to pursue you. You can't pursue him strong enough to find him. He will meet you more than halfway and shoulder you back to the flock. And we wait on you to feel safe again and to feel whole again. There you have it, gone astray, but yet brought back home.